I know that ripping into BuzzFeed is a long dead art, but I'm starved for content after that first video because I'm an uninteresting fuck. BuzzFeed made a video called 24 Questions Black People Have for White People, and boy is it a doozy. So I, a white person, will be answering them to the best of my ability. Let's get right into it.
Why do you always make such horrible decisions in horror movies? It's not cool to split up.
Okay, so this first question should set the tone for the rest of the video, right? Maybe not. Well, I don't write horror movies, but I would assume it's because horror writers, especially around the time Scream was a new movie, were pretty bad at writing anything other than death scenes. I'm sure if there was a good writer on the crew of a horror movie, you wouldn't see that annoying trope anymore. Then trust me, it annoys the hell out of me too.
Why do you freak out when black people are cast to play white fictional characters?
I personally don't. I prefer the Samuel L. Jackson Nick Fury over the comics' white Nick Fury any day. Though, that might just be me loving Samuel L. Jackson. What bothers me, though, is the idiocy that ensues after people are accosted for it. For reference, when Harry Potter on Ice casted a black woman as Hermione, J.K. Rowling completely went over her own head in saying that she never specifically said that Hermione was white. Just say it doesn't matter. Don't come up with excuses for it. And I know people use the, oh, if I casted a white person to play a black character, wouldn't you be mad? Argument. It's really not an argument. It's just stupid to ask something like that. Generally speaking, if someone is criticizing you for something, they'd also criticize themselves for that same thing. Not everyone is as big of a hypocrite as you are, Jeffrey.
What's the big deal if Idris Elba plays James Bond? I would go see it twice.
Nothing. There is nothing wrong with that. I'd probably see it twice too.
Why is a big butt and big lips considered attractive on a white woman, but they're unattractive on a black woman?
Well, personally, I don't see anything wrong with anybody having a big butt or big lips. I don't prefer big lips, but I do enjoy a nice butt. This is getting a little weird for my tastes. Anyway, I don't personally believe that statement to be true. If you're attractive, you're attractive. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, anyone?
Do y'all really think Miley is the one who created twerking? Really?
No, I really do not think that. She couldn't twerk even if she tried.
Why am I supposed to teach you how to twerk? I don't know how to twerk.
God, I really hate Valley Girls, so I feel you on that one. I think this is more of a question for those particular Valley Girls than it is for me, but I'd probably be remiss if I didn't answer every question. I don't think it's your responsibility to know how to twerk, and I also think it's genuinely wrong for people to assume that just because you are black, you know how to twerk. But is this really the biggest issue you have to face? Just tell them to stuff it.
Why is it that white people always act as though they have discovered a new trend when people of color have been doing it for virtually years?
Perhaps it's because everyone likes to be the center of attention. That's not just a white person thing, that's a humanity thing. I guess you could also say they're new to the idea of the trend, so they want to get into it more. I don't really see any white people claiming they discovered twerking or that they discovered jazz. And if they do, I'm willing to believe they're claiming they've personally discovered it for themselves. Sort of similar to how people say, I just discovered this really cool band.
Why is it when a black woman wears her hair natural, it's seen as inappropriate, but when a white woman does, it's praised?
Okay, I understand that these are your personal experiences, but I think you'd be pretty hard-pressed to find any actual evidence that this is a white person thing. Honestly, and this isn't me trying to be rude to you, I don't like big hair. I think big hair is unattractive, black or white. It's just down to preferences, I suppose, and generalizing like this doesn't really do you any good.
This is the hair that I was born with, so you wearing it as a trend is not cute.
Listen, you don't own hair. I was born with brown hair. I don't get upset when people dye their hair brown. It's just hair, dude. Is this really the biggest issue in your life?
Like, can you appropriate my student loans? Can you take that off my hands?
Okay, I'll admit it. That's actually kind of funny. My first watch through of this, I actually chuckled, but I'd hate to force you to listen to me forcing myself to laugh. It's horrendous. I sound like a dying seal.
Why is it that white crime is seen as an isolated incident, but black crime is a representation of my entire community?
That's a stigma that some people have to break, man. Why is it that seeing black crime as representative of the race is seen as representative of my entire race, though? Kind of backwards thinking, don't you think?
When we see a story on TV about a white serial killer, I don't automatically assume that all white people must be serial killers too.
Well, statistically speaking, you wouldn't be far off base with that statement. Wait, I think I misheard that. 2 times. Yeah, no, I don't think all black people are committing crimes either.
Why does talking about race make you feel so uncomfortable?
When it comes to the topic of race, my viewpoints are shut down when they don't align with the person I'm speaking with. So sometimes I just find it better not to talk about the topic, period. It's not because I'm a racist, it's because I've yet to have a healthy discussion about it.
Is it because you think that you'll be perceived as racist if you talk about race?
No, it's not because I'm afraid I'll come off as a racist. And if I do come off as a racist, I'd rather be called out on that. But does this count as one of the questions? That's pretty lazy, I think. And that's also an assumption. And you know what they say about assumptions.
You don't really believe that racism is over because we have a black president, do you?
No, I don't. There are still many issues that black people face that I don't in society. I can acknowledge that. Now, I'm sure you could find somewhere that I would disagree with myself, but I've probably grown since then. There are genuine issues that many black people face that white people simply don't as a collective. Issues such as redlining make it difficult for many black people and other people of color to get out of the situation that hundreds of years of institutional slavery caused them to be in. To ignore these issues is disingenuous at best. These issues aren't being racialized, they're statistically a racial issue. And that can be backed up by statistics, you know, the ones people who complain about society being so racialized hold so dearly. Not that there's anything wrong with liking statistics, but man, are some of those people just insensitive.
Why is it so easy for you to notice when there are no white people around, but you hardly ever notice when there are no black people around?
Because I'm white. I grew up in a white area with white people. My girlfriend grew up in a predominantly black area, and she sees when there are more white people than black people and brings it up pretty often. I think it's safe to say it's based around where you grew up.
Is your goal to be colorblind?
My goal isn't to become colorblind, but thanks for assuming.
There's so many different types of people in the world, yet you can't see color?
Can someone explain to me why this video is titled the way it is? Why is it okay for you to generalize?
Why do you want to say the N-word so badly?
I don't. Again, why is it okay for you to generalize?
I don't use it. What makes you think you can?
You really look so smug. I really don't want to, and I don't think anyone should be using it. I believe people give words power, but at this point in that particular word's lifespan, there's no saving it. It's sort of similar to the saying, there's a lot to unpack here. Let's just throw the whole thing out.
Why do you always want to touch our hair?
Who? Me? I don't. I don't like thick hair.
Who told you it was okay to touch people without their permission?
Nobody. Because unlike the implication suggests, I am not a rapist, and neither are all white people.
Why do you feel like having one black friend makes you a cultural expert or not a racist?
I don't. I think the fact that I'm not a racist makes me not a racist.
Is your only black friend comfortable with being the reason why you can't be racist?
Hey, Creed isn't my only black friend. How dare you say that about him?
By that logic, then I'm not racist. I have a ton of white friends.
Well, I'd hope you wouldn't need that logic to not be a racist, Mr. BuzzFeed man.
Why do you feel comfortable cursing at your parents?
Is that a white thing? I've seen black people curse at their parents before. I don't know, man. They're just words.
Why do you kiss your dogs on the mouth?
What? What the fuck?
How come you can't pronounce black names like Quvenzhané, but can say names like Schwarzenegger, Galifianakis, and LaBeouf just fine?
It's unfamiliar to me. Like, I can't pronounce Floxacin. Fuck it.
Flochenausenylapilification.
Thank you, text-to-speech machine. I can't pronounce words or names I'm unfamiliar with. You even pronounced Schwarzenegger wrong. When I first saw Schwarzenegger, I could not pronounce it. It took me a few times to get it down. Hell, I heard how to pronounce that one word.
Flochenausenylapilification.
Thank you, but I
Flochenausenylapilification. Flochenausenylapilification. Flochenausenylapilification.
Fuck, where's that goddamn task manager? She's broken again.
Why do you feel like all lions' lives matter, but black lives don't?
I think all lives matter, regardless of race or color or even species.
Why is a lion's life in Africa more important than the lives of black people here in America?
They aren't.
What did Simba ever do for you?
It really helped me after the passing of my grandfather. Don't be so rude, Mr. BuzzFeed man. Simba's a really nice guy. A bit prideful, though.
I
get it. Lion King was an awesome movie. But so was Selma, and so was Malcolm X.
Yes, but the issue is that Selma and Malcolm X weren't my childhood. They're films that teach a greater lesson than anything Disney could peddle out. Or so I'm assuming, as I've yet to watch them. Movies from my list, however. Thank you, Mr. BuzzFeed Man.
Why is it so hard for you to acknowledge your privilege?
Because everyone has rough times in life. I refuse to let my battle with depression and the shit that has happened to me be thrown away because of my privilege. This word used to mean something, but after it became a deplatforming tactic, I find it kind of stupid to use it. Sure, as a white person I am more likely to get ahead in life, but I still have to work at those things. Why can't we work towards the solution for the issue that's presented as a collective, rather than attempting to tear each other down?
How does it feel to not be the spokesperson for your entire race at any given time?
I don't know. Considering the topic of this video, that's sort of a dumb question, isn't it?
Must be nice.
During the course of making this video, I think I counted a little more than 24 questions. I don't know though, I might be wrong. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is such an old topic, but again, I was starved for content. If you disagree with anything I said, feel free to let me know. I'm open for discussion.
She got a man.